I have got some string separation happening underneath or some serving separation, and it was happening under my D-loop. I don't want to stop practice, so I keep D-loop material in my bag, measuring tape, okay, just a little measuring tape like that. I keep a utility knife, and I always close it in between use. And this is my second favorite kind of utility knife. It's the one I like carrying around when I'm out and about, but I like the Stanley one that slides in and out of the handle best. I keep one of these dull ones for scraping veins off of shafts if they have a little glue on there, because you got to do it very carefully with a dullish blade, but I digress. I keep one of those. I keep a pair of needle nose pliers in my toolkit, but I also keep a pair of these D-loop pliers. So lastly, of course, I keep lighter, and I keep a little bit of this serving in there, usually like a braided fast flight that's around 18,000. In this case, I got some power grip, which is a center serving material. And then using the, I actually use my T-square this time, which I also keep handy. I thought, okay, well, maybe I cut everything off and cut this off, but I first measured where was my bottom knot, because I don't always tie a top knot. So I'll keep a little bit of space, like two wraps of my serving between the bottom knot, my nock, and then the top of the D-loop. But I put it, and I lined up just to here on the top of my rest, and I thought, okay, that's right here at this bottom line exactly on my T-square. I'm hoping you can see all this because I can't see what I'm filming. And now I'm just going to go through how I tie a D-loop. And I am not an expert. I've done it many, many times with varying degrees of success. Now my peep's sitting pretty square right now. So I begin, I'm a right-handed shooter. So I'm going to have the first knot facing on the left side and the top knot facing on the right side. So I cut it to about 4 inches, burned it, I mushroom it. So start with the loop in front of the string. I pass the ends underneath it. Around the strings, around my bowstring, and then I pull it through, and then I'm just going to take this top one, because that's the one that's going to make the top of the loop. I'm going to feed it through. I'm going to just coax this other one just to the right depth here, and then bring it over to the side a little bit here, and I'm going to just snug this up with my fingers, and then compress that knot, and get my fingers wrapped around there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe get a little, just wind my pliers in there a little bit, and then I'm going to tug that till it's tight. Okay, it's a little bit tight, but when I put the D-loop pliers on, it'll be really tight because I'll stretch both sides. So what I did was I just started pulling my serving up after I cut everything off, and that left a gap down here, but that's kind of outside where my nock sits. So this isn't a permanent solution. This is just a temporary solution. I'm going to fix this later. Now I'm going to do the top knot. So I come around. Let's move this over a little bit there. Okay, so you can see the little mushroomed piece of D-loop material is right there. A little flattened bit. It's on this side, so this one's going to end up on the other side. So I come over this way, and then I come back through the middle, and this is where I hope I've left myself enough material, because I want to. So I come through the middle, and then I'm going to go around, and I'm going to catch that mushroomed piece in the top piece of D-loop right there. It's a little snug, and that's how I know I think my D-loop is the right length. Okay. So now what I do is I use the needle nose pliers first to just spread the knot a little, or just to compress that knot a little bit there. A little bit of tension. Okay. Now all I gotta do is check my nock fit. So I just wiggle this up the serving because it's still loose. Okay. I like to use 19/2 biter nocks. That's the size of them. They're like a larger groove biter. because I always want to have just like a little play. Okay, so these 3 open gaps go on the side here. This 1 open gap catches the D loop. Okay, so those needle nose pliers, I just use them to make the hole big enough, and it's not quite big enough. Need to spread it a little bit more. Okay. Check knock fit. It came down a little here, so I got to wiggle it a little bit up. Wiggle it a little bit up, a little bit up, a little bit up. And I'll kind of try to move that up against there and just keep that pressure up against here. A little stretch. And then I'll check it compared to my peep sight. Is it in line? That's what I want. Maybe I'll just do a little bit more with my needle nose pliers, pushing upwards like that against the knot. There we go. And then check it. The knots are still spinning on the serving, like they haven't quite bitten down yet. And that's good news, because I want this knot to rotate my peep sight. Okay, face that, stretch towards me, and there we go. Okay, and that is, oh, that is cinched down. All right, and that is how I tie a D-loop in an emergency. Maybe I'll make a video about how I replace center servings next. Remember, the more that you can do for yourself, the less waiting you have, the more shooting you get.